Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Glad to be with you all again today. Good morning from Mexico. Welcome back, Alanet. And today is day 6 of our 7-day meditation and breathwork challenge. And we have a bonus day, so it's actually 8 days. Good to see you all, Nancy, Karen. So many of you are coming back day after day, and I really acknowledge you for that, to begin and or strengthen your daily practice. So, I'm glad to be here with you all. Hello, Diane. Samastar. So, is it getting easier to, if you're getting up early, if you are practicing this breathing for the first time or doing it consistently, if you're doing the cold water immersion that's part of the Wim Hof method, how's that experience for you? Is that getting easier? So, great. Awesome, Samastar. So those who don't know, Temescal is sweat lodge. Yeah, that's also an amazing practice in its own way, with its own spiritual, physical, mental, and emotional benefits. Welcome, Esther. Good early morning. Yeah, if anybody is new here, please feel free to follow me here on Insight Timer. Check out my meditations here in the app. I have many, both free and premium tracks. You can join my group, Natalie's Healing Circle, where we can stay in touch and receive updates and announcements. And I am double live streaming this, so you can follow me on all places and platforms on the internet. Check out my link here in my profile to find out more. My spiritual morning coffee is still kicking in. So, that's funny, Samastar. So, is there anybody here that's brand new to what we're going to be doing today? And just if you are new to this challenge, know that you can join in any day. It doesn't matter if you haven't been here before. I will give enough of a review that anybody can join in any day. So, the format of this live stream is going to be first an explanation and a review of what we're doing. Then we're going to practice the Wim Hof breathing, and then I'm going to guide you in meditation. Tomorrow, I am running my longest running live stream that's now called Sunday Morning Live. And we will be doing breathing and meditation, and it will be modified because we're going to be like combining both live streams. So I'll be doing a collective channeled tarot and oracle reading, Reiki and ancestral clearing in the meditation, and we'll be listening to a guided breathing practice. So, no, I said food, Samastar. It's best not to have a stomach full of food. I mean, if you have a little something, that's fine. And best practice, you're correct. Best practice is empty stomach. And also, if you're waking up and jumping right in like I am, you don't want to, I mean, I would say drink a glass of water, you know. You want to have a little, you know, hydration from wakening before you dive in. And again, that's best practice. I remember when I was living in Bali 10 years ago, probably, I took a Wim Hof workshop, and it was in the afternoon, and it was held in a place with a cafe. So I had I still remember, well, I think I had like a vegan burger or something right before, and my stomach was very full, and the instructor was like, yeah, that's not, you shouldn't have done that. So, but yeah, I mean, something light, it's fine. Great question, as always. So, if you are new, Wim Hof is a Dutch man who created the Wim Hof method, which is a mixture of breathing. He does some sort of yoga or postures. I know he does this horse pose, which is a standing pose. We won't be doing any of that here. And his method then combines cold water or cold immersion. So if you look him up online, there's a documentary, there's tons of stuff about him. I know there was one, or part of his documentary, you know, he got 10 or 12 people in the European mountains in the winter, and it's, you know, blizzard outside, and they go outside and they're, you know, doing, having done the breathing, doing this horse pose, and then he takes them on like a 10-mile hike without shirts for the men. Without shirts. So, the purpose of all of this is that it builds resilience in the body. It builds, strengthens the immune system response. One of his records is, and I think he did this with a couple other of his students. They went into a hospital. They planned all this. It was all set up. And the staff injected them with a virus. And the challenge was that they would fight the virus off with their will and their minds and their Wim Hof method. And they did. So they didn't do cold water showers in the hospital, but they did the breathing and they did concentration. and they tested, or they were like monitoring their immune response, like fever. And, after they injected them, like they started to get a fever, and then he like brought the fever down with his mind and with his practices. And he did not get infected with a virus. So this can be very powerful. And of course, that's about intention, that's about will, as well. And he'd been doing this for years at that point. But I'm pretty sure he brought in some students that, had practice, but they weren't Wim Hof. So, yeah, Esther, great question. So the man's name is Wim Hof, if somebody can type that. So, Wim Hof method is what I'm describing. And we're going to be doing a modified version of all of this today. But just to give you a bit of introduction, and great, Alana knows more than me, so please jump in, or anybody that wants to add more or correct me. So we'll get into the method, and I'll give best practice, and then I'll give modifications. So it's a breathing practice. We will do 3 rounds of the breathing. Then I'll lead you into guided meditation. We will end within an hour of the session for those on a schedule. And then you will be invited to cold water immersion. And I'll give, best practice and modifications. So it is circular breathing, which means there's no pause between the inhale and exhale, or very little pause, we'll say that. I will count mentally my breaths, so you can just listen to me, and you don't have to count. So you can just hear me as I'm breathing. You can match my cadence. If it's too fast or too slow, you can modify that, and you might not be at exactly 30 breaths, but that's okay. You can breathe through your nose or mouth on the inhale. The exhale needs to be through the mouth. Hi, Laura. Ooh, that sounds great. Yeah, he's super famous now. I think I learned of Wim Hof like 15 years ago, or maybe 10. So he's been around a long while now. I mean, he's been doing this a long time, but gaining popularity. So the breath is going to look something like this. Okay, before I say that, on the inhale, you can breathe in through your nose or through your mouth. Breathing in through your nose, you're going to get less oxygen. So you will have a less intense experience, which is fine. And if you want a more intense experience, more oxygen, then breathe through your mouth. So I'm going to be breathing through my mouth. So this is what it looks like. I find breathing in like that way, I get a lot more oxygen. The exhale, you don't force all the air out. It's just letting the air fall out of your lungs. And did you see, I didn't even completely finish the exhale before I'm breathing in again. So that's what makes it circular. I prefer doing a 2-part inhale. So this is my own modification. You can do it or not. You can practice both ways and you can see what you like. I like this. You get more oxygen this way. And I also want to mention, either way that you choose, you want to make sure you're breathing in through the belly and then the chest. So it's more structured if you do the 2-part breath of like, I'm breathing in through the belly on the first, I'm breathing into the chest on the second inhale. But if you're just doing one continuous inhale, you can still breathe into the belly and chest. Breathing into the belly means the diaphragm, and means when you inhale, your belly expands outward with your inhale. Your belly will fill with air like a balloon, or well, it feels like that when you inhale. Awesome. So that is the 30 rounds that we're going to do. At the end of that, I will say, take a deep breath in and hold it. So you want to take a really deep breath and hold at the top of the inhale, just briefly. And then you want to let the air out. So, and then hold the exhale. So there's a subtlety there as well, where again, you're not pushing all the air out of the lungs. You're letting the air fall out. And then hold. You're going to notice, I don't know how much percentage of air, but there's still a percentage of air in the lungs, maybe 10%, I don't know. But you don't want to, no. And there's not a, don't force the air out. It'll naturally end and pause. At the end of the exhale, you hold there. So this takes getting used to if you're new at this. So that's why I'm slowing down on that. You hold the exhale. I will set a timer. We will hold the exhale. Today, we're doing a little bit more because we're on day 6 of the challenge. So we'll hold for 1:15, 1:30, 1:45. So I'll time that. Do your best to make it through. You can do more than you think you can. Remember that. And, you know, be discerning. You want to push yourself outside your comfort zone. You want to try to do your best. Well, you will do your best. I mean, you want to try to push a little further, and with discernment, being smart. I mean, your body will make itself breathe, but yeah. So, the double sip Samastar, you're talking about the double inhale, I imagine. Yes. I like to demonstrate one round of just a continual inhale, and then the others, I do the double inhale. If during the exhaled part where you're holding the breath out, if you're just like, I can't go on, you can do one of two things. You can either just take a tiny couple sips of air, tiny sip in, and hold it. That can help you make it further. Or you can just end. And if you are ending, then you can do the following. So if you've, say we made it all the way through, the timer goes off, I'll say deep breath in and hold at the top. So again, holding the inhale at the end of the exhale. You will hold for 10 or 15 seconds. I will guide you When you do this inhale after the long exhale, you will squeeze the belly, chest, and head. That's Wim Hof's instruction. I also like to focus on squeezing from the perineum, the pelvic floor, the belly, the chest. He says the neck sometimes, squeeze the neck. You basically want to imagine all that energy going up to the head. And then we'll exhale. So that's one round. I'm trying to think if there's anything there I missed. And I've given some modifications. So one modification, if you want a lesser intense practice, is you can just take, instead of breathing at 100% effort and capacity, you could try 70%. So taking, a less full breath, or slower on your own pace. Anybody have questions about that part? Okay, so after we do that, I'll guide us into meditation. The theme of the meditation for the challenge is the energy of devotion and loving kindness. So I will bring in some metta, which is a Buddhist loving kindness practice. And I will guide us simply with breath focus and bringing an energy of devotion. I've talked about this already before. This is really important. And this is just me. This is not part of the Wim Hof method. The part about the meditation is me. So, yeah. We want to be gentle with ourselves. We want to be loving. Throughout this whole practice and everything we do. So we get to be very focused here when we do our practice. So if you are one who, like me, shares self-criticism, not doing good enough, not doing things right, all of those sorts of energies, I invite you to practice with the energy of devotion, in that instead of going into the meditation or even the breath work with like this, I've got to do it right, or rigidity or perfection or judgment, that you bring an energy of, I'm devoted to doing this. This is a devotional practice, which comes from love for the practice and love for myself. So that will be the guidance there. And then we'll end, and you'll be invited to go into the cold part of the challenge. Before that, I forgot, be laying down if that's available to you and you're new at this or newer. Lay down in Shavasana, just corpse pose. You get more lung capacity that way, and if it's because you will get lightheaded, you will get dizzy, you might feel tingling in your extremities. So if you're not practiced at this, and you sit up, sometimes people will pass out. So you want to make sure you're lying down. If that's not available, that's fine. You can be seated, and make sure you have cushions or something on either side of you to catch you, or be sitting somewhere where it's the couch or a bed if possible, or a chair with armrests at the minimum. But if you're comfortable and you know yourself, you can do whatever you want. The cold water part, So this is a combo of like mind and body challenge. And I really invite you, especially if you're resistant, that you do this cold water portion and push through. You can do hard things, you can do the uncomfortable, you can do more than you think you can. So after we end the live, again, if it's available to you, take a cold shower, fully cold. Best practice I'll just give you is to go into like immerse yourself in cold water. So if that's an ice bath at home, which there are, I'm considering buying one. You can buy this stuff now. If you're near a body of water that's appropriate to go into, that's cold, go into that. Do not breathe in the water. So if those things aren't available, take a cold shower. If that's not available to you, make a bowl of ice water and immerse your face in the ice bowl, water bowl. You can splash cold water on your face as an alternative. Yeah, and that's a good point, Alanet. So if anybody is near or has available to do an immersion, and yeah, you can put your feet or lower legs in. Ooh, awesome. So we've got a real expert here. Some star laid on your mat. That's great if that works for you. And Lauren, yes, I have all my recordings available on my YouTube channel. This is being live streamed there as well right now and will be available as a recording after. And anyone, if you want the link, send me a message. So, and best practice for the cold water shower is just going into the cold water and leaving it cold. So now I just take a cold shower. I mean, I wash my body, I take a cold shower, and that's it. Now it's very short. If it was a hot water shower, I'd be taking a lot longer of a shower, and it's in degrees. I used to just turn on the cold water briefly and then turn it to warm and finish my shower, so now I just take a complete cold shower and that's it. And I like that because I feel like if I turn it to warm or hot water, it just changes how my body feels. And again, you can do where you're at, what you choose. Ooh, awesome. So yeah, if you're doing the cold water full out, turn all the way around, get your head and face, raise your arms, because it keeps a lot of warmth in to take the cold shower, but not raise your arms, but get the cold water under there, and that will add another dimension. It's good for your lymph, circulation as well. So, all right. Any questions? I am going to take a 1-minute bathroom break, and if anybody else needs to, and if not, then you can just settle and get ready, and I will be right back. Wonderful, Lonette. Glad that you were able to join. So I'm going to read a Michael Singer card to guide us just in, having something to think about while we do this, if it resonates. Michael Singer, author of Untethered Soul. So he says, realize that the outside world and the flow of inner emotions come and go, but you, the one who experiences these things, remain consciously aware of whatever passes before you. Realize that the outside world and the flow of inner emotions come and go, but you, the one who experiences these things, remain consciously aware of whatever passes before you. All right. So you can open or close the eyes. I like to close my eyes. We'll just take a couple slower, deeper breaths. And we'll begin in 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in. Deep breath in, hold at the top. Exhale, hold the exhale. Notice the sensations. Fifteen seconds. Deep breath in, hold at the top, squeeze the belly, chest, and head. And exhale. That was round 1. Great job, everybody. We will do a 1 minute, 30-second breath hold next round. And we'll begin in 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in. 3, 2, 1. Breathe in, hold at the top. Exhale and hold. Fifteen seconds. Deep breath in, hold at the top, squeeze the belly, chest, and head. And let it go. For the last round and for this round, I did the double inhales, so you can choose whatever works for you. And we will begin the third and final round. At the end of this round, we will do a breath hold of 1 minute 45. Really give it all you got here. Breathe fuller, deeper. And we'll begin in 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in. 2, 1. Deep breath in, hold at the top. Exhale and hold. Feel the sensations. Fifteen seconds. Take a deep breath in, hold at the top, squeeze the belly, chest, and head. And let it go. Wonderful, everyone. So we will go straight into the meditation. Breathe through the nose, just letting the breath equalize. Taking some fuller, slower breaths. Just notice all the sensations in the body that this practice created. Just fully relax the body. And bring your attention to a single point of focus with the breath, either in through the nose, focusing on the nose, the sensation of cold air moving in, warm air moving out. Or or you can focus on the belly moving in and out. And really concentrate. This is a concentration practice, meditation. We want to train our minds. We just are training our minds in this focused breathing to stay alert and present with the breath. And now we're doing this with meditation. All your attention, all your focus to that single point. To the exclusion of everything else. And when the mind wanders, because of course it will, here is your chance to practice loving kindness and devotion and bringing yourself back to the practice. Being devoted to the focus. And expanding your awareness of what you're doing, that you're not just doing this for yourself, you're doing this for everyone whose life you touch, be it family, spouse, partner, friends, acquaintances, co-workers, people that support you in your day-to-day life, your taxi driver, grocery store clerk, bank teller, postal worker, to those other beings in your neighborhood, town, city, district, country, and the world. Being devoted to this practice for the awakening and peace of all beings. And you can repeat these phrases to yourself if you'd like. And feel the energy. May I be happy. May I be well. May I be free from suffering. May I be at peace. If you have any resistance to wishing yourself well, notice that. It's okay, and realize that you are also a part of humanity. And that everyone is deserving of these intentions. You are one of all beings. May all beings be happy. May all beings be well. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be free from suffering. So you can slowly, gently, easily bring yourself back to a wakeful state. And when you open your eyes, just pause and feel into the energy that you created from the practice, feeling the body integrating. So if anybody has last questions or comments, we will be back again tomorrow, 2 hours later, for our regularly scheduled Sunday morning live that we will be doing a breathing practice. It's not Wim Hof, it's modified. It's called euphoric breathwork. So does anybody else want to be euphoric? Come and join. Yes, I'm a star. So this is why laying down. Because that falling asleep is losing consciousness. It's totally normal. And it's fine. And you can just, when you come back awake, you can rejoin the practice. Allison, hello. Great. So if this was helpful, give yourself, feel free to give a donation if you'd like. Follow me here and everywhere. Yeah, so snoring is a little bit deeper than, yeah, so that may be because you're tired. And it's totally okay. And Esther, yes, that is okay as well. Allow yourself to swallow, just keep your your mouth shut and don't breathe. You can swallow without breathing if you are mindful. Hello, Kufa. Thank you for the donation. Ooh, wonderful, Nancy. And so those of you that are new to this and are joining consistently, you will begin to, deepen into the practice and feel the benefits. You're so welcome. Yeah, and you can start experimenting with pushing yourself. And this is so helpful for nervous system regulation, both physical and just, mind as well, mindset. So we're at 1 hour, and I want to briefly refresh about what's next. Cold water immersion. So yes, taking a cold shower, if you're in a place that you can do that. I strongly encourage you to push through any resistance to doing that you may have, and to try it. Push through. If that's, if you're, I know some people are at the office or whatever, then do some sort of cold water challenge for yourself. Or get in a natural body of water. I live a 5-second walk to the biggest lake in Mexico, and it's not clean. So also be discerning. Hi, J.E., you're welcome. I will see you all tomorrow for Sunday Morning Live. It'll be fun and powerful as always. We will do a collective card reading. We will do Reiki and Ancestral Clearing that has some meditation. I mean, it's like a meditation. So, and we'll be listening to euphoric breath work. So we won't be doing this exact practice, because I wanted to introduce you all to this one. I really like it. So yeah, well, that's what we'll be doing. Excuse me. You're welcome, Karen. Hello, Donna. You're welcome. I'm getting in my shower now, Alana. So wonderful, and see you all soon.